Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Monday, July 27th. And you can see temperatures out there this morning in the 60s. And we're heading for a couple of very hot days here for today and Tuesday with lots of sunshine. We'll see our temperatures push towards 90 degrees. If we look at the next map, you can see extended view of the Great Lakes area. You can see temperatures mainly in the 60s. Notice very few arrows, lots of just temperature readings. That indicates winds that are very light to calm. And if we look at the weather map for later today, the strong area of low pressure well off into the northwestern plains is going to move towards north of Lake Superior towards Hudson Bay over the next 3 days. And you can see the large area of potential for severe thunderstorms and heavy rains across parts of northern Montana into North Dakota, western Minnesota, and arcing back into northeast South Dakota. Again, pretty active weather off to our west. Will be dominated by high pressure. Nearly full sunshine today, and again, it's going to be very warm and muggy out there. Darn right hot indeed. And if we look at the weather map for tomorrow, you can see that area low pressure now continuing to move to the northwest, well north of the Great Lakes. And as the system moves to the east, it's going to weaken as it runs into high pressure. Also, it's going to outrun its support again as the storm moves to the northeast, well away from the Great Lakes. We'll see just scattered heavier showers and thunderstorms off to our west. But that's about as far to the east as the heaviest precipitation is going to fall. So we're going to be very cross our fingers so we can get some rainfall in here. We certainly do need some. And if we look at the again the lower level wind fields, you can see very calm across much of the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley. And again, that's what's going to make these next 2 days very oppressive. Is not only the fact that it's going to be temperatures around 90 and very humid, but we're also going to see very little in the way of wind, so it's going to be a very uncomfortable couple of days coming up. If we look at the next map here, you can see, and then as we get towards Wednesday, you can see how much less precipitation being shown as that front moves through, just scatter showers and thunderstorms. And the models have been trending less and less, so that's not real good. We really do need the rain, especially across south central, central, and northern lower Michigan, where, again, it's quite dry out there. As far as precipitation off the GFS, you can see here over the next 3 days, very little in the way of precipitation across much of lower Michigan, with the best chances across the UP, especially the western end, back into Wisconsin, again, as that storm moves well off to our northwest. If we look at the WPC's 5-day precipitation, you can see they also single out the Great Lakes as or the Michigan area with very little precipitation. Maybe some isolated areas could pick up some decent rains in any of the thunderstorms that do fall. But for the most part, the general area is going to be under a quarter of an inch, and probably many areas either seeing very little or up to a tenth of an inch. Again, if you get under a thunderstorm, that's a whole different ball game, and you can see some briefly very heavy rainfall there. But again, most of the precipitation will kind of weaken as it comes towards the Great Lakes. Speaking of the temperature, the cold front that comes through on Wednesday is going to be the beginning of a quite cold stretch or cool stretch of weather coming up here over the next 2 or 3 weeks. This is the 8 to 14 day outlook, which would be for August 3rd to August 9th. So we're going to start off the beginning of the month of August quite cool. Again, very familiar pattern temperature-wise from the spring with the warmest temperatures across the southeast states. And of course, the ridge building across the west is going to give those areas above to much above normal temperature-wise. And again, the trough over the center part of the nation. Very familiar pattern we've seen so far for the spring and summer months. And speaking of growing degree days, these next couple of days are going to continue to add to a very nice week-long stretch of weather where we've seen growing degree numbers pile up, and that's a good thing. Blissfield in pretty good shape. Again, their biggest issues were from the rains here about a month ago. And as far as Brown City, they're doing quite well, actually getting closer and closer to 2013, putting quite a nice separation between last year and, of course, the really bad year of 2009. And if we look at Breckenridge, you can see certainly below normal, but where separation is getting larger across the years of 2014 and 2009, and of course the disaster year of 1992. We're well ahead of that pace, and we should be in pretty good shape, even with the cooler weather coming. On the bright side, it looks like by long-term models, we could see a pretty warm second half of August come up, so that should help as well. And you can see over the last 20 years across the Breckenridge area, we're right about in the middle of the pack. These are the raw numbers from April 1st, so we're doing quite well. We're now caught up to 2014 after being behind it for quite a while. We've now reached that. And again, over the next couple of days, we'll surge ahead of that pace. And you can see the very bad year of 1992. We're well ahead of that as well. Thanks for stopping by and have a great day, a great work week, and 73s to all.